Another old game I was playing this week on the stream as well was Vandal Hearts. It's an old Konami strategy RPG for the PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I remember it being, this was pre-Final Fantasy VII, pre-Final Fantasy Tactics. And Konami released this, and I want to say Suikoden and this came out around approximately the same time, but they were both pre-Final Fantasy VII at least. And
yeah,
I just remember this game totally taking me back when it came out. It was 96, I think, when it came out.
You sure these are pre-Final Fantasy VII?
Almost positive. What year did Final Fantasy VII come out? 97?
Good
now
question.
We're gonna do some great radio by
Vandal Hearts was October 25th, 1996.
Yes.
Yeah.
Suikoden
desperate he is to prove you wrong.
He is.
Final Fantasy VII was January 31st, 1997.
Yeah, so I was right. And Suikoden was 1995, although I don't know if that was Japan or December 95.
So slightly before.
Yeah, so
although I think it came out in the fall in the US.
To reiterate, everything I just said was right.
Everything you just said was correct.
But only slightly, Greg.
Slightly.
Yes.
That's essentially wrong.
And then I think Final Fantasy now someone's in the chat is asking about Final Fantasy Tactics, but I think Final Fantasy Tactics was after 7. So yeah, that was 97, 98 here. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, strategy RPG, so along the lines of like Shining Force.
Right.
From Konami, who I don't remember thinking this is an RPG company back in the day. But
no.
Bayou Billy.
You're definitely playing a role. I just remember really loving it. And I never ever did play Vandal Hearts 2. I have a copy of it, but I never played it. So anyway, I've been getting around to it here on my Twitch stream and still love it. Man, that's a good game. It goes along the same lines as what you expect for a lot of these older, especially strategy RPGs, where it's just sort of a rock, paper, scissors style. You know, like I have a fighter, you're an archer, my fighter is stronger against your archer, the archer is stronger against flying characters are stronger against fighters, that sort of thing. But it's like, actually, we were just talking about Dune. It's filled with political intrigue, which was kind of its thing. And it was funny playing it this week because I and the chat were constantly kind of taken aback by how relevant almost everything that was happening. Like, it's all about like a militarized police force that's using a lot of excessive force on people who are rising up or resisting, and a lot of talk about like, you know, how they destroyed they taxed the rich and all that. Like, it's just, I'm just bringing politics.
I was enjoying this
games.
Conversation until you brought politics into gaming.
All I'm saying is it was only recently the politics came into video games. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And by that I mean 1996. But
well before that.
Yeah, well before that.
I mean, Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Yeah.
Done.
Very political. Yep. Anyway, no, it's a really good game and full of blood, which is another amazing thing. If you ever played this game, anytime you kill a character, there's just a geyser of blood that's like screen high.
Is it like
it's very
a samurai movie kind of thing?
Very much.
Where it's just like the
just
spray.
Like a Bushido blade suddenly
out of the character. Yeah. But no, I'm really enjoying playing it. Although it is funny to play something that old and in 3D. I'm playing it on a PS3, so it's got the smoothing that automatically turned on. Looks awful. Because the characters are all sprites, and it makes them look like they were put through a smoothing filter on something, right? Like because that's what they are. The polygon areas look good. The textures look good, but the characters look awful. So I turned it off. But that's same thing like with Tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics was the same, where you have relatively small areas and you just have sort of a bitmap background that they float on top of that's constantly moving. But it's quaint, it's cute, it's old school, feels good. I'm really enjoying it, playing a lot of it. Yeah, love it. Love Vandal Hearts.